Turning ahead 2 pages to 170 of the committee amendments, an objection on page 170 has been raised to item 398, number 2H.
Gentleman from Fairfax, Mr. Simon.
Mr. Speaker, this is the last of these amendments that I want to get to, but I want to explain what my objection is here. And this one's pretty important. Mr. Speaker, we've got $2.5 million each year of the biennium being taken out of the budget. This is money that was going to be used to establish some mental health pilot programs in local regional jails and to solicit proposals for pilot programs to improve mental health inside of our jails and prisons. And I explained already that 1 in 4 of our inmates are suffering from serious mental illness, but a jail is not a place to receive treatment. It's not the right place. They're not equipped to do it. Now, what this bill does, what this language does, there's language to this amendment as well as taking the money away. It says, go ahead and do the study. Go ahead and develop the programs, but we're not going to pay for them yet. All right, but go develop a program and report back to us by August 15th, 2016, and we'll decide which programs are going to work. We don't have money for it yet, but we think it's important. We want to develop a program, and we'll get it implemented soon enough. It's interesting, Mr. Speaker, that the date we picked is August 15th, 2016. I remember last summer what I was doing in August of 2015. I was on vacation with my family. I also remember reading headlines in the Washington Post about a young man who was in the Hampton Regional Jail waiting for a bed because he had been deemed incompetent to stand trial. He'd been ordered for a competency hearing. He was stuck in prison, wasting away without any services for the crime of allegedly, we never know what he did or not, we never get to a trial, but for allegedly stealing a Mountain Dew, a Snickers bar, and a zebra cake worth $5.05. Other inmates said that they saw him pacing naked in a cell, often covered in his own filth. He was in jail, Mr. Speaker, in April. By August 19th, he was dead. He sat in jail, a jail that wasn't equipped to deal with his mental health problems, wasn't equipped to take care of him, recognize that he was in crisis, get him the services that he needed to get well. So this 24-year-old, on August 19th, 2015, essentially was found dead in his cell. He lost 40 pounds. He had just been allowed to waste away. Mr. Speaker, we can't afford, I know we talked about what we can afford, what we can't afford with Medicaid expansion. We can't afford to let those dollars go away. We can't afford to let more people suffer that fate. The last report I got from DBDHS is there are still 35 people as of October of this year sitting in prisons awaiting a bed and waiting evaluations. We can do better than that, Mr. Speaker. I would urge the body to reject this amendment and put that money into the budget. Let's start spending it right away.
The gentleman from Prince William, Mr. Lingenfelder.
Mr. Speaker, speaking to the amendment.
Yes, the gentleman has the floor.
Okay. Mr. Speaker, I encourage the House to accept this amendment. Let me just remind you what we're doing here. Yes, we did remove the $2.5 million each year for up to 6 pilot programs that was proposed in the original budget. But the introduced budget did not identify the pilot sites. The introduced budget did not specify the criteria for the sites. The introduced budget did not identify actual funding needed for such pilot programs. And without this information, it's very difficult for committees to assess whether the funding proposed to these pilot sites is necessary and sufficient. It's not responsible budgeting. And so if you'll take a look at the language, what you'll see is the language in this amendment directs the DCJS and DBHDS to solicit proposals from local and regional jails for mental health pilot programs in local jails. We're not disputing the fact that we need to do this. It needs to be done in a responsible manner. And DCJS is also, in this language, required to provide a report recommending up to 3 pilot sites, a budget for each pilot program, and the mix of state and local funds to be used to fund that pilot program. So look, I would say to the folks here listening to this debate, this is a good amendment, And on top of that, it's responsible budgeting. It doesn't put the cart before the horse. And so I hope that you will accept the amendment.
Shall the committee amendments be agreed to? Clerk will close the roll.
Ayes 73, noes 26.
Ayes 73, noes 26. The committee amendments are agreed to.